Do you believe that there'll be a deal for Hildebrand too, or does your instinct think, all right, they want Hildebrand maybe because she seemed to be the ringleader. She was the counselor that ended up, bringing them into what would easily have been argued a non-professional scenario where a client is now living with you with the kids. Are they going after her, do you think, or will there be a deal for her as well?
I think, that one's a little bit more difficult, right? And I'll tell you why, because in the eyes of the law, the nexus of responsibility breaks when you're not the parent or the legal guardian, right? I'm not saying that she's not going to be found guilty of something, right? But maybe, Ruby Franke will testify against her, and they could put together an argument that there was some sort of a conspiracy that she was promoting to harm an adolescent, right? But that case is going to be difficult because with Ruby Franke, it's different. You have legal responsibility to your child. If your child walks into a pool, there are parents, unfortunately, where their kids have died in their custody through a complete accident. And that parent has to deal with the authorities for months and months and months to clear their name while they're grieving for their child. So the law has a different recognition of your responsibility as a parent than they do for some counselor, right? Some sort of a cultist, some sort of a weird, odd person, a person who I would never bring in my house. Or if this person was trying to, because she divided Ruby Franke from her oldest child, right? And the evidence is pretty clear on that. But what could she be found guilty of? It's a little bit more muddy because the law has not been developed that well in that arena, because the law puts the burden on the parent. So will there be a plea with her? If I had to guess at this point, I would say yes, because they did a plea with Ruby Franke and they taught them both a lesson. But that's more of a 50-50, whether or not she'll take a plea, whether or not she'll even be offered a plea.